The fairy lights twinkled over the long dinner table, reflecting in wine glasses and practiced smiles. Yet under that warm shimmer, I sensed the poison. My mother-in-law's gaze fixed on me with the same lethal glint she had always masked behind sugar-coated kindness for years. Then, as the chatter around us died down, she leaned in so only I could hear. "If you don't hand over full access to your bank accounts," she murmured, her voice oily with menace, "I'll tell the whole family you've been beating my daughter." I remember the red wine turning bitter as vinegar in my mouth. She was certain she had me trapped, that terror would break me, force me to kneel, but terror and I were old partners. When I first met her, I mistook her for simply protective. Emily had warned me gently, "Mom means well, she's just intense," and I bought it. I convinced myself the woman who raised someone as soft-hearted as my wife couldn't possibly be vicious. In those early years, I played nice. Weekend brunches, strained grins, rehearsed praise. She'd tease about my paycheck, second-guess every choice I made, slide little barbs inside, helpful suggestions. I swallowed it all because Emily was worth more than pride. But gradually her advice turned into control, where we should buy a house, how we spent our money, even when we'd start a family. I should have drawn a hard line earlier, but I wanted harmony. Then the subtle accusations began, quiet words to Emily about how I was too domineering, how I was changing her precious girl. I watched doubt flicker across my wife's face like a flame in a draft. That was the moment I truly started listening. The evening she issued her threat, I didn't flinch. I smiled, nodded, refilled her glass. Inside, though, something icy and calculated locked into place. For months, she had been testing limits, prying into our finances, asking for temporary login details to help Emily with the taxes. I refused, politely, then firmly. I recognized manipulation the way a sailor recognizes a storm. But that night, she handed me the weapon herself. She gave me evidence. The very next day, I purchased a tiny voice recorder and kept it in my shirt pocket every single time we went to her house. Weeks went by, she never wavered. Guilt trips, money questions, emotional blackmail, relentless. And at last, over afternoon tea, she repeated the exact words I needed, crystal clear this time. "If that transfer isn't done by next Friday," she hissed, "I'll tell Emily everything. You'll lose her forever." Click. That was enough. I waited. Timing had to be flawless. Christmas dinner, her annual coronation, was ideal. Every year she hosted, soaking up adoration like royalty. Emily's relatives worshipped the perfect widow act. That night, I performed too, carved the roast, raved about her gravy, smiled until my cheeks burned. Halfway through dessert, she pounced. "So," she said, syrupy sweet for the table, "I do hope you're treating my little girl better these days." Better. The word floated like smoke. Emily stiffened. "Mom, what are you talking about?" Her mother's smile widened. "Oh, nothing serious, just that he finally learned some manners, didn't he, sweetheart?" I set my spoon down, calm as winter air. "Funny you should mention that," I replied. "It reminds me, there's something I'd like the whole family to hear." I placed my phone in the center of the tablecloth and pressed play. Her voice poured out, cold, calculating, undeniable. "If you don't hand over full access to your bank accounts, I'll tell the whole family you've been beating my daughter." Absolute silence fell, like the world had stopped breathing. Emily's fork slipped from her fingers and clanged. Her brother's mouth hung open. Her father's hand froze with a spoonful of trifle halfway to his lips. Her mother went white as the table linen. That's taken out of context, but there was no context that could save her. I let the entire recording roll. Every threat, every twisted lie, every poisonous syllable. When it finished, I sat back. Merry Christmas. Emily cried without sound, tears not for me, but for the mother she thought she knew. She rose, shaking, and looked at me. "You recorded her?" I nodded once. "I had no choice. You deserved the truth." She said nothing more. She simply walked out of the dining room. Her father went after her. The rest of the family sat paralyzed. And the woman who had ruled them all with velvet cruelty stood trembling, staring at me as if I had torn her face off in front of them. Because I had. 6 months have passed since that night. Emily and I are stitching ourselves back together, one honest conversation, one therapy session, one quiet evening at a time. She has not spoken to her mother once. As for me, I feel no regret, not for a single second. Some monsters only die in daylight, even if the light scorches everyone on the way. Sometimes revenge isn't screaming or bleeding, it's silent, clean, exact. And the hollow quiet that follows is the sound of justice finally learning how to breathe again.